Chapter 2. As they reached the edge of the forest out towards clear land, it was already starting to get dark outside. How did we spend all day in that forest? I could have sworn it was daytime just a few minutes ago, the cynical boy thought, looking around nervously. Lampere wasn't confused by this, however. He just assumed that she didn't take notice of it. The squirtle lifted her head up towards the sky and gasped. Wow! How is it already nighttime? He stayed silent for a moment, not sure on whether or not to reply with a comment about how Lampere just noticed that it was dark, or agree with her about where the heck the day had gone. Yeah, I didn't realize you took so long in that forest, he explained, opting out of taking the chance of accidentally insulting her. That's weird, she said, putting her hand up to her chin and contemplating. I guess you should try to find a place to stay tonight. We're not that far from Misatown now, so if we hustle, we can get there before it gets any later. He nodded. It'll finally be nice to rest without worrying about some crazy person or something trying to attack you. On the way, the two strolled in relative silence again. Lampere again hardly noticed it, while the boy found himself trying to think of things to say, but he was much too preoccupied with his own thoughts. Eventually, during their trek, they came across what looked to be a small abandoned cottage. There was no light coming from inside, and while it looked old, it certainly wasn't dilapidated in any way. Oh no! I thought for a second maybe that was an inn, Lampere said, disappointed. That would have been nice. The boy stared at the building for a moment, thinking. Hey, do you think you recognize that place? Lampere asked. I don't know. Well, either way, it doesn't hurt to check it out, she said. She immediately bounded over to the building. Hey, wait, I don't think... It was too late to stop her, so he quickly followed along. Lampere knocked twice on the door, though there was no answer. I guess no one lives here. Maybe you do. He thought about what she said, figuring it could be right, but I guess if no one lives here anyway, it wouldn't be too terrible of an idea to look around for a minute. Exactly, Lampere said, trying to open the door, but realizing it was locked. Huh? The door's... Oh, then I guess someone does live here? The boy wondered aloud. Then I guess it's a good thing, Lampere began, before she suddenly yelped and grabbed her head. The boy barely saw what it was, but he swore he saw something fly through the air and hit his friend in the head. Suddenly a voice from behind them said, What do you idiots think you're doing? The two turned, and they saw a small girl standing a couple feet away from them. She looked to be easily a couple inches shorter than Lampere, who the boy already had a solid 3 inches of height over. She caught whatever she had hit Lampere with. It looked to be some kind of thin white club. She had long, straight brunette hair and was wearing similarly colored brown overalls with cream-colored, long-sleeved shirt underneath the leggings. Her face, sans her eyes and mouth, were obscured by a helmet/mask of some sorts, and had a peculiar shape, with 5 tube-looking sections along the top of it. In her arm that wasn't holding her club, she was carrying a bundle of sticks. We're sorry, the boy immediately cried. I thought... Lampere rubbed the spot on her head where she was hit, but didn't look particularly annoyed or upset. Wow, you hit me pretty hard. Of course I did. I thought you were going to break into my house, the girl yelled, pouting. See, my buddy here, he doesn't have any memories, and we thought that he recognized this house, and it didn't look like anyone lived here, Lampere explained. Well, someone does, so get out of here, weirdos, the girl said, walking forward and pushing past the two. Wait, the boy said, realizing something. You live here alone? Yeah, what of it? She answered. Oh no, Lampere said, catching on to what her friend was trying to say. You don't look old enough to live... You don't look old enough to do that. Are you all right? The girl sighed sharply. What, you want to babysit me or something? I don't need it. Well, as a future explorer, I want to make sure that you're all safe here, Lampere said, looking determined again. So would that be all right, Ms... Laura. She sighed sharply. Laura Lilium. But I don't need any help. Maybe you should help your forgetful friend there. She gestured to the boy. You said you don't remember anything? So you don't know your name? My name's Sandra, he said, without thinking. Once he realized what he said, he had no time to correct himself or explain before Lampere was already speaking. Wait, did you remember that? She said, ecstatic. And I didn't even hit him, Laura said. How did I... That was weird. I just said it. Maybe I was trying to think too hard? Yeah, that sounds right. Sandra Tefra, I think. It feels like I've said that before. Wow! Lampere glanced down to Laura. Do you know him? I think being around you is jogging his memory. I just think you're both insane, she answered, unlocking her door. But no, I've never met either of you before. I don't really talk to people much. Because you live outside Misatown? Lampere asked, trying to be astute. Obviously, but anyway, it's like getting cold or whatever. You should both find a place to stay, Laura said, trying to sound uncaring. On it. I got 30 poke to my name, and that's going to get us a night's stay at the inn. Author's note, I'm sorry if you hear my stomach growling. I'm very hungry. Laura looked up at Lampere and laughed. Is that all you have? I think it costs like 100 or more. You're both stupid. What? Lempiere said, shocked. But I saved my allowance for this. Sandra kept quiet, feeling a little powerless. Just my luck at this point. Laura shrugged. As funny as it would be to tell you to get lost, I guess I'll let you stick around a while. You're both weirdly entertaining, she said, then went into her house. Sandra looked at Lempiere, waiting for her to react before doing anything. Does this mean we can come inside? Lempiere asked, peering toward the door entrance. The door entrance. I guess. Yes, you idiot jerk faces, Laura said, annoyed. Ah, I knew she'd turn out nice, Lempiere said to Sandra before entering the house. Turn out to be is a strong word, Sandra thought before following after her. Inside of the house was rather small. There was a small entranceway which opened into lots of the words small here. A dining room close to the door, a living room toward the back of the house, and a doorway to the right. On the western wall there was a fireplace, which Laura was kneeling down in front of. Lempiere and Sandra approached, the latter closing the door behind him. They both sat nearby Laura, who had her attention still on the fireplace. The bundle of sticks she collected were in the pit of the fireplace, and she had her fist carefully on top of them. It was emanating some kind of purple electricity, which surprised Sandra. What are you doing? He asked. What's it look like, jerkface? I'm trying to start a fire, the girl replied arrogantly. As a crackle of electricity went into the branches in the fireplace, a small fire began to kindle. She took away her fist and softly blew air into it, to which the fire grew larger and began to heat up the room. Why are you trying to start a fire when we have Sandra here? Lempiere asked innocently. Sandra quickly panicked. Make fire? Is she insane? How am I supposed to make fire? She turned to them and rolled her eyes. I'd rather start a fire and be pretty sure I'm not going to accidentally burn my whole house down to the ground. Thanks. Besides, I might just be a Cubone, but I can make it on my own. I have for years. Years? Sandra asked. How old are you? 12, she answered. Wow! Lempiere gasped. I'm 14, but I couldn't think of living completely alone. She continued with, How old are you, Sandra? That's how you say it, right? He nodded. Yeah, that's how you say it. And I think 15? That sounds right, at least. You're weird, Laura said. Also, I thought you were a boy. Why's your name Sandra? No, it's Sandra. That's how you say it, Lempiere said. Whatever. His name is Sandy, Laura said with a shrug and a smirk. Well, what's the deal with you two, anyway? Because I don't want to answer any more questions about myself. Well, I found Sandra in Winding Woodland today. He was passed out on the ground, and when I woke him up, he didn't remember anything, so I decided to take him with me to Mesa Town. But since it's late now, we're going to try to look for his family in the morning. There's like a million reasons Sandy could have lost his memories, you know, Laura said. Maybe he got attacked by someone he was robbing, or he fell out of a tree. I think if he fell out of a tree in Winding Woodland, he'd be dead, Laura said. And also, Sandra would never do anything like that. Wish she refuted that first point before the second, but Sandra thought. Laura shrugged again. Guess I'm interested now. I want to see what kind of guy he really is. I don't think I'm a bad guy, Sandra sheepishly interjected. Certainly don't want to do anything bad. That's what they all say, Laura said, laughing. Sandra frowned. He knew she was being difficult for the sake of it, but she still wished that she wouldn't. Anyway, I hope you jerks bought food, because I'm not sharing, the Cubone said, standing up. I did, don't worry, Lempiere said, taking her shield off and opening up her backpack. Have a nice dinner. Yeah, whatever, Laura said, heading into the kitchen. After a dinner of mostly exchanging awkward pleasantries, Laura let the two stay in her living room. Sandra let Lempiere take the couch while he'd be sleeping in a chair. He also let her have the spare blanket, since he didn't feel all that cold. Lempiere said it was because he was a fire type, whatever that meant. It didn't take long before Sandra heard Lempiere snoring softly, interrupting his thoughts for a moment. The sound of her being asleep gave him some comfort in his anxieties. I still don't know what's going on. I'm happy I remembered my name and age. Hopefully that'll help someone identify me. But, he sighed, I still feel like I'm far away from where I was. I don't know if I can ever go back. But, for now, I think I'm safe. I trust Lempiere, and I trust Laura too, even if she can be a bit of a brat. I guess what I'm worried about is myself. I mean, I don't even know who I am. I just know I'm Sandra. That's all. I want to know who I am. I want to know why I'm here. And then maybe I can breathe easier, not having to worry if I was really a bad person before I lost my memories. Even with all these thoughts swimming around in his head, he managed to slowly but surely fall into an uneasy sleep. And then just kind of the recount. Sandra, Lempiere, and Laura Lilium, the Cubone, female, and she's 12. Her ability is battle armor, and she's rash nature and quick-tempered, and she's holding a thick club.